Hey, brothers, this is Kevin Kolb. I'm with my friend Nathan Burch. He pastors in Aurora, Missouri. And Nathan, you're going to be hosting the state meeting. So, hey, thanks for joining me today from Aurora, what middle school I think you're at.
Yeah, the junior high. I'm in the junior high right now. The art room behind me, as you can see.
Nice. Well, thank you for taking time out of the day in middle Missouri and connecting with us and the pastors. And man, it's good to see you. You have been serving as pastor of Aurora Baptist Temple
Mhm.
for 14 years.
14 years.
That's awesome. Like you're not even old enough to be in ministry that long, and here you are clicking the clock 14 years in Aurora, Missouri. What are the and so first of all, congratulations on that. And second of all, I think there's probably a treasure trove of wisdom you can share with us about what it's like to minister in a small town having tenure, like staying with it and being known. Like today, the middle school called you because they were short on teachers, and they knew that you would stand in and you would be there to help. That's awesome. That's a great reputation.
So if I could let me say this. Our church has been in existence for roughly 73 years, and I'm its 16th pastor.
Mm,
I mean, the the history is not good. They've had some really good pastors that they might have ran off, and then they've had some not so good ones that it just didn't work out. Pastoring in a small town is hard, man. I mean, somebody visits your church and maybe they come for a while, but they don't join. Okay, you can see them at Walmart or the whatever, and it's cordial. But you have a guy that comes, a family that comes, they join, maybe they serve in leadership, and then something happens. There's a disagreement with leadership or a decision you make, and they leave, and they don't always leave on the best terms. You still see those people,
mhm.
and how you treat them will get out to the entire town.
Mm.
Um, our church is the largest in the city. It's right in the middle of town, right across from the local bank. I mean, um, the school uses our facilities all the time. We're very active in the community, but when you put yourself out there like that, you're talked about a lot, and so we have to really be careful about our reputation. I personally have to be careful. It has challenges, but it also has its um, joy as well. The local funeral homes use me whenever a family doesn't have a minister, and I look at it like, so you're going to pay me to preach the gospel to people I don't know and who don't come to my church. So if I make them mad, I really don't care. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, done. Okay. So I run into people all the time that remember me. I don't have a clue who they are, but I preached their uncle's father's funeral.
Yeah.
And seeing people visit the church, seeing people saved. So there are some perks to it as well. It's not all bad. There's much more joy in it than not. And I would say that for a ministry as a whole.
Yeah. Well, that's way cool. To be 14 years in the same church is an accomplishment, and to have the influence you guys are having in Aurora is really encouraging. And man, kudos to you. And if there's some pastors out there that wanted to just kind of pick your brain about ministering in a small town, how would be the best way for them to get a hold of you to ask some questions? I know you'd be available to have that conversation.
Oh, hit me up on Facebook. Go to the church website, email me. Have these guys, all my numbers in the directory. I mean, call me, text me anytime. I just felt that I wanted to bring some solidarity to this church, which has just wanted somebody to love them for decades. Just somebody stay. It probably took, Kevin, 8 years for the church not to worry when I went on vacation that I wasn't candidating another church. Mm. There were people that would be scared that when I would be a guest speaker at Graceway, that Pastor Bob was retiring or moving on, and they were wanting. I mean, just that fear of abandonment. Mm. But we've been able to battle that and conquer it. Now I can probably give you a list of people that would love for me to move on. There's a list there, but I think it's a 51-49% in my favor. So I think we're okay.
Well, that's a winning percentage in politics these days. So.
We'll take it. Yeah.
Hey, you're going to be hosting us December the 4th, and thanks for doing that, opening up. I know you've always treated us well when we show up, and we're kind of wrapping up the years. We've been talking about being an example in a number of areas and being an example in faith. And, pastors, we can have faith crisis ourselves, and we can't make it public. We can't air it. No one can know. But there have been a lot of pastors who have struggled with their personal faith or working through the text. So how are you looking to encourage us in the area of faith? Who you got coming to speak, and let us know why we want to show up on the 4th.
So I tend to do things a little different sometimes. I'm kind of a pragmatist, man. I'll do anything possible that's not sin to lead someone to Christ, right? And I thought to myself, what do the pastors have right now in their lives that might be a burden to them that they're afraid to even mention for fear of considering, that they're not eligible to pastor more? And when I got the title or the theme faith, I thought, what if a pastor starts to have doubts about things? I know pastors right now who have gone through what's called this deconstruction of their faith. And preacher, you know what I'm talking about, where
right.
They've walked away from what we would consider as basic tier 1 undisputable truths because it's easier to swallow. It's easier to preach. And a lot of times when that happens, guys have crisis in their lives, or there's a trial, or there's a deeper sadness going on. And I just thought about that for a second. I said, rather than cast stones and stand in judgment, why don't we just take a simple time to remind ourselves that have faith in the word, have faith in our calling, have faith in times of doubt that God is still in control. Like, even when I always tell my church that every Easter some new documentary comes out that disproves the resurrection, or, Jesus had a wife, or, and they come and they go. And we look at that as pastors as just another attack on the gospel, another attack on Christ that doesn't last. But every time stuff like that happens, it seems like good men in the ministry fold.
Yeah, it almost as if we're immune to the fiery darts of the wicked. Like,
bingo.
When you think about the shield of faith, it's called in Scripture. And, we can single-handedly quench all those things. And, think about the fiery darts. A lot of those shields, man, they would catch flame, and you're hanging on, and you're like, okay, what do I do if it's not somebody else's faith that's on fire? What if it's my faith that's on fire? And for pastors, and I would even say missionaries who are watching this, for sure, missionaries, they're like isolated. They can never talk to anybody about struggles that they're having. And, that's just not a healthy culture. It's not healthy on our staffs. It's not healthy in our churches. It's not healthy in our fellowship. And so I would just with you say, if you're a missionary, if you're a pastor, if you're on staff somewhere, and these are challenges you've had, dealing with it in isolation is not the answer.
No.
Right? And if we can come together in a meeting like this and open up and talk and be encouraged about what to do when either we are going through those fiery trials, or somebody else that we know and care about on our staff or in our lives is going through it, how can we step in and serve? It's a great topic. It's a needed topic. Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
So the two guys are for sure speaking. Eddie Lyons, he's going to talk about keeping the faith through times of storms. Like the church is not as successful as I thought it would be. Get out of Bible college, I'm going to just double and triple in size. And
it does, right? Every time.
Yeah, every time, right? It's almost like I got to get it down to the level I can actually handle and then work from there. Okay. And, talk about, Pastor Bob, he'll be talking about what happens when I start to doubt some things that I was always taught in the faith. Like, everyone looks at me to be the best husband, the best father, the best financial manager, the best Bible teacher, all those things that pastors are elevated to that we're not.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and I
Bob
think-
is, Bob
Yeah,
is, but the rest of
yeah,
it's fine.
yeah, he's my boss. He's my old boss, so I better say that. But I know for myself, like I have to be real with my people. Like I can't put on that facade. And I think with social media now, Kevin, in the age of technology, the days of just us pretending every Sunday that everything is okay are gone.
Mm.
Like, we can't.
Need to be gone.
They need to be gone if they're not already. So let's just accept it and let's work through it and let's build each other up. I think it'll be a great meeting and I hope everybody can attend. I really do.
Yeah. Well, hey, it starts at 11:30 with a meal. You guys have always, treated us well. Great hospitality by your folks in Aurora. I would say if you're coming from St. Louis or Kansas City, and give another pastor a call and have them ride with you. Do some, praying on your way down. Talk about your plans for next year. Redeem that travel time. Make it profitable. Same thing from Springfield. I know Aurora's not that far, but man, go with somebody. Bring somebody with you. And it's our last meeting of the year. Thanks for hosting it. December 4th starts at 11:30, and it's a good topic, needed topic.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Appreciate the opportunity to host. Love the state, love the fellowship, and let's pack it out, man. Great catered meal, lots of stuff, and God will get the glory. And I know the brothers will be encouraged, and that's what we want.
Very good. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it. See you on December 4th.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys.